So as you all know, I'm generally looking for the rotations in the dome, looking at market correlations, and here when markets are kind of really moving together towards the lows, I mean, generally it's not a great idea. I mean, don't even look to really buy. Since I've got several payouts from my Apex funded account here, I said to myself, let me go get the low of the day here and try to get a trade that could, at least give me some good risk reward here. And seeing that absorption, I think that was the idea to really look for a nice sweep higher. It took some time to really get the trade going because I really monitored what was going on, and you're going to see how with the footprint and all the demonstrations when I do the screen shares here. I just want to clarify certain little things that I'm getting a lot of questions on. This will make it a lot easier because a lot of traders are asking if I use a trade copier and how I manage the funded accounts. Normally, I have tested the trade copiers and I really don't. They're terribly unreliable when it comes to trading. All the bad experiences I've had with other traders who've explained to me that sometimes it'll go and put a trade on and then you can't cut it and there's like all sorts of errors that come up with the sizing and all that. So I totally ignored the trade copiers. I'm not interested in trading with those. So basically, I'm trading one account at a time through the dome and tape here with JigsawTrader, which is the main platform that I use. Uh, I do play around with my domes from time to time due to liquidity. For example, I add the stacking on the bid and ask with the snapshot option on the domes, which is ideal once liquidity has increased. The volatility has dropped in the last several weeks. I mean, I could say that it's not always useful. It all depends. Order flow is a thing where, you know, not every nuance of it will work every day, but there are consistent trade setups around dome and tape that I use in my trading, uh, especially the market correlations when you're looking at Nasdaq, ES, and the YM and the Russell, and now Jigsaw's got this new beta where they're using the tick compression option for the main Nasdaq dome, which is really interesting to be able to use that because I think that could be something that I have to play around with. That's why I've got a lot of recordings that I use to see little things that would help when I'm trading the correlations. Um, like I said, the crazy volatility we've had in the last several months, it's not ideal. Like, it was really mainly the rotations on Dome because you were seeing 20, 30 lots on the bid and offer on ES, which is terrible liquidity. I think that you need to tweak and kind of see what's best for you. And I think I share my trading style using Market Profile for main areas of, inflection points, and then the footprint helps me to look at the context of the, the market, and especially on this trade here, it's going to be a really nice way to see that absorption on the 30-minute rotation that I have. You'll see how I manage this trade with the exits and entries here. I think I caught the low or on ES here. I mean, I catch the low as a buyer, but the trade was really a typical way of approaching the lows. I don't want to look like I'm trying to catch a falling knife here on this trade, but it was pretty perfect and managed it pretty well. I could say you'll see I'm going to be criticizing my several lots where I was not able to, manage the exits properly. But look, at the end of the day, sometimes it's all about, having that order to take the profits and be able to maybe rebid lower depending on the market conditions. So I think I got a pretty nice profit out of the Apex funded account. Again, I share my experience with these funded accounts, and I think I've been really I've been really clear that it's transparent as well, and I have received several payouts already. So let's get to the trade. So you're at some point on on the ES dome on the right side here, you're gonna see a big lot, a big order just appear. It's like 200 up, I believe, as both markets are moving lower. I mean, as soon as I saw that, I said to myself, forget it. This liquidity is just going to get consumed here. And look at how they basically went through that. Oh, I mean, it was really easy to get through. At this point, I'm just looking for the first initial push higher, which is something that I always look at when a market will get to its low. I mean, we're gonna get that here like in a couple of seconds here where the market's just gonna push higher. It's probably just a stop run or like everyone's just buying back their shorts here. It's just a short covering probably, but it's good to see that. And I'm seeing that generally it's a small little reversal we're gonna get here. And I mean, you're seeing 100 stacking up, and that's where we get the move. And then tick strike kind of gives me that confirmation that we just got a nice little, you know, move higher. And then I'm starting to see like 200 lots coming in on ES. They're bidding, and the market's only moving like 3 to 4 lots. So that kind of tells you that these buyers that kind of, even if the market moved up, these buyers that showed up here uh, can't say they were really getting paid. And that's the market profile here, making new lows here in the market. I think we're very close to the lows, especially on ES and Nasdaq. So I just cleared the, the trades here, and I like to generally put that here. And here comes the absorption on the footprint, very clear. If you want to just maybe rewind that and watch that as that basically goes through here, it was very clear on the footprint how the absorption was there. And I'm going to go with a long here. I'm going to show you guys the footprint again here. And then I've got some stops just to see if I can get a scalp here. And again, look at how the market just pushes lower, but nothing. I mean, that was just a small little liquidity vacuum there. And that's the kind of thing I want to see once the market has moved up and actually it's moved down, and then you're willing to kind of like rebid, especially seeing the big lot on the offer there. I'm trying to see if we could maybe at least touch that. I'm aiming to go get that as a target. Here we're going to see at some point how the stacking on the bid is going to increase. You're going to see like 80s, 100s, and 200s come in, and that's where I'm kind of convinced that now the buyers are stepping in. So here I'm looking at the bids here, and we've got 58, and then dropping down minus 27. As you can see, like the sellers came in, but really there's a lot of good, interesting amounts that are being stacked on the bid. I'm clearly seeing like 70s, 55s. I think at some point we're gonna see more than 70 again, and then I'm hitting market because I'm expecting like at least another 4 to 6 tick move here. After that, the market just kind of moves lower, and I don't really see the momentum, and the footprint's also hitting like a battle zone. Eventually, the market just comes and hits my stop, and I get stopped out on this one. I'm gonna rebid here because I'm seeing that the sellers are not getting paid for the move lower. And I could see that there's exhaustion on the footprint as well. And then you're going to see some decent volume in this bid here, over 400 that just got added to the bids there. And it just clearly, the momentum is just shifting towards the buyers here. I'm going to manage this trade pretty well here. So I've basically moved around the dome here just to give you guys a better view of what's going on in the auction. We're seeing really good volume coming in, and I could see that the buyers are basically really stepping up and adding a couple of contracts here. Like I said, I think maximum was like 3 lots in this trade. So I'm gradually putting some orders to get some, profits out of the trade, and then I'll rebid again. But then you see 200s, 300s are just stacking on the bid again, and clearly there's either a push coming, and I'm anticipating that. So as a scalper, my mindset is here to really just look for entries and exits and to be able to manage the trades. Sometimes I'll go with 1 lot, and sometimes very slow backticks, which kind of gives me confirmation that we really want to go higher here. So at some point the market's going to move a bit faster, but then I'm going to put a stop right at it and adapt, and that I think kind of really gives the move a bit more wings here. Um, I was planning to add right at the 4011, but then I basically didn't, and I kind of was a bit too late. And then once you see how I'm not able to take profits on the VPOC there, which is a pink around the 4118. I was just aiming that, and here around 4112, I'm still debating if I want to add another one. I got a buy stop just above 4113, is it? Yeah. And that's where 100, 160, 120, 170, 180, they're definitely willing to buy at these prices. So again, you can't always be exact with your trade management, but I'm seeing Nasdaq also moving, as you can see me highlighting the cursor there, but the footprint's also hitting some good resistance that I'm looking at on the higher time frame. And then look at how we've got 400 that just was added on the bid there, which was very clear. And then the market just hits like a quick move down, and yeah, I think there's more bidding coming in here. So again, it's a process. It's where you look at this and you look at the markets. The dome really does give you a lot of information, especially if you do your homework and review your recordings. And now look at this here. The market's basically going to push higher here. It's unfortunate that I couldn't really close the trade a bit earlier, which I could have here once I started seeing the 200, the 300 lots at 41.17, and market's really not ticking higher. So I could have basically, and you're going to see how I'm going to manage this, where I'm going to add a stop, but I should have taken profits at 41.17 for sure. So it eventually does move lower, and obviously now the trade is over, right? Like the buyers have lost their steam, and again, the management wasn't excellent, but I think I could have taken at least 1 lot earlier to really book in some profits there. So once again, the maximum size I had was like probably 3 lots on this trade. I scaled in, scaled out, and really never really went above 3 lots on it. So it was a pretty decent trade. I mean, there's nothing. The risk size was not huge, and I think when you look at the trade in its context, my trade management was pretty okay. So again, I share my experience with all these prop firms and everything. So don't hesitate to contact me or go through the links in the description below. Hope this helps.